Hey everybody, it's Professor Dominic again. I am showing less of my face and more of my table so that you can see what I am doing today. So now what I'm going to do for this part of the class is I am going to talk about how to add things to your mask once you have it finished. I also wanted to show you, where did I put him? The goalie mask, because I completed him. So he is just about ready for painting. It is really that simple a mask. If you're in my African art class, you have seen it and you definitely know that that is true. It is that simple. So if you wanted to make a mask that simply, you absolutely could. I also had this other idea in which I took a coffee can, and just to show you the different things that you can do. Oh, I think I have to go get that piece. Excuse me. No, I don't have it up there. Where did I put that piece? Oh boy, here we go. Here it is. So what I did with this is I actually formed this onto the coffee can, cut out the eyes beforehand, and then I let it dry out. And actually, so that I would have this ready for the video today, I put it in the oven. Again, I put it in the oven at 275 for about 20 minutes. And it's still a little bit moist on the other side, but it's rigid enough that I can show you that it is possible to let it hold a form as long as you've got a shape under it. So today what I'm going to do is add to this mask, which I've actually drawn a little bit on, as you can see, and I actually stopped doing that because I'm going to add clay to it. So what I want to try to do, so I went on the internet and looked for a mask that I thought would be well adaptable to a mask like this. And as I mentioned the other day, the Dan masks of Sierra Leone and Liberia lend themselves really well to human-looking faces. So I downloaded a picture of a Dan mask, and for my African art students, so you guys remember, again, this is your interpretation of the mask. I'm not going to try to make my mask look exactly like this, but I am going to do some things to it. And what I'm going to do right now, so I just have the face. So what I'm going to do right now is create this sort of half circle above and half circle below and attach it so you can see how to do that. And then I'm going to let it dry again overnight so that I can come back and paint it. So tomorrow's video will actually talk about painting this stuff. So you'll have an idea of how to do that. So now again, here I go. I'm going to take my clay, and I have some friends working in the back with me here. If you see any movement, that is what is going on. And here we go. So I'm taking the clay, I'm warming it up with my hands, and I'm going to roll it. I'm going to flatten it a little bit with my hands, and I'm going to roll it a little bit when I get it a little more flattened, like so. And just kind of keep, like it's, pretend that you are rolling out a pie crust or rolling out cookie dough, if that is the kind of thing that you like to do. Here we go. I think I've got all my phone cords and everything also here. The point of having a studio is to have more space, but I'm really good at wiping myself out of space. All right. So I've got it about the size that I want it. And I'm going to measure, I'm going to take this mask and measure against the back. So I'm just going to actually not use a pencil, but just kind of use something so that I do a marker along here. And now, let's see. The Dan mask, now that I look at it, this picture The half circle comes down to about where the nose is. So I'm going to try to make it so that on mine, so that it is about level with the nose. And I'm just freestyling my circle here. Here's hoping I get it somewhat even. And let me actually slice it. I'm going to try to make it a little more even. Okay, pull away my excess. And again, I'm going to kind of trace around the head. So now you can see I've left, this is where, about where the mask is going to go, where these marks are. And I'm going to cut out the excess within. And now, I need to, I left them, gave my friends my spray. So yes, may I borrow that? All right, so like we did before, I'm going to prime the dry mask. So I'm going to spritz it. And I'm going to spritz my clay. And I don't know if you guys want to see how I'm spritzing my clay. And I'm going to just lay this on here now. And oh, it's not quite even. Oh, the best laid plans. All right, let me cut that. All right. So now, again, I'm going to spritz it some more. There is such a thing as too much water, but in this case, I'm going to really make sure that it's going to do what I need it to do. And I'm just going to take, kind of roll out a snake of clay. And I'll probably have to make a couple of snakes, but just gently lay it down alongside the head and press it along the sides. And just use my finger to just completely smooth everything out and get it nice and flat. And nice and seamless. Make a nice join. We sing do 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 when we make the mask. All right. And again, gently pressing everything together. And then depending on how things dry between today and tomorrow, I may or may not do the same thing on the opposite side. Some more spritz. And trying to make all the joins as seamless as I can. Make it look like it was just already formed that way. And actually, I should have thought before doing this because I needed to do one. I think I'm just going to stick, since I'm doing a variation of this, I'm not going to do the bottom. I'm just going to stick with the top part for now. So there is that. Now let me see. Depending on how thick you make the clay, it may or okay, good. It's coming up, it's coming up. So there's the back. And now what I'm going to do is just take some spray, again, spritz some water. and spritz, and then just fold the clay under and just try to form a good join once again. It's obviously going to have to lay flat to dry to keep that nice shape going. But I think you guys get the idea. So now, let me lay her flat. And at this point now, I have all kinds of really cool molds and things that I use. There are molds for candy making out there that have all kinds of really cool things in them, like the Adinkra symbols, which if you are in my African art class, we learned about the Adinkra symbols in chapter 7. And I think I want to, if I have it handy, haha, that's the question. No, I don't have it handy. I thought I had my Adinkra symbols handy, but I don't. So I'm not going to go running around the studio trying to find them. But at this point, what I might do is take some of those and put them around here while the clay is wet. Since I don't have those, I'm going to go with that idea of the Beninese Queen Mother. I have this little mold, which is for like doll faces. So doll makers out there on Etsy and so forth, they sell silicone molds. You want the silicone mold for working with this clay because it will release much more easily than if you're using some kind of rigid mold. But I'm just going to take this and do something strange. So I'm going to get me some faces. And the idea, as always, is to really press in to the deepest points in the mold so that you're really getting a good impression. And I'm going to pop it out. So there's a face. If you remember, I was talking about the Beninese Queen Mother mask that had all the little Portuguese guys on top. I'm going to do something like that. Oh no, actually I have a better idea. All right, so now let me spritz this, and I'm going to do a completely different thing. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to make a nice braid. How do you make a braid? Well, hopefully you know how to make a braid, but with clay, what I'm going to do is roll a big fat snake. And the moisture you keep, not too moist, but the clay remains nice and pliable as long as you can keep it moist. So if you need to add more water to it as you go, you definitely want to do that. My buddies Anaya and Elijah are making masks over here, and Anaya is making a really cute kitty, and which is going to look something like this when she gets done with it. And if you want, I can show you how to make a really cool lion's mane. So tomorrow, once it's dry. Hopefully it will dry that fast. All right. Making a braid, making a braid. So basically the idea for making a braid is you're rolling out the clay like snakes, you know, like we did in kindergarten with modeling clay. And what I thought would be cool to do would be to kind of have, all right, need to get it longer because I want 3 strands. So I'm making a super long strand that I'm going to cut into 3. Okay, so I'm going to join it at the top. Make one for each side. So the clay at this point is also going to be extra heavy, which is another reason why it's good to kind of let it just lay flat until it dries. So once I lay it on top of here, I'm going to have to keep it flat so that it will all dry the way I want it to. And now I'm going to braid it. And I'm probably going to do this one on each side. Now, if you have cowrie shells or something like that at home and you want to add them, what I recommend you do if you're adding beads or anything like that to your mask, wait until you paint it. Paint it first and then add beads, because you don't want to be painting around a bunch of little tiny beads. It's going to make you crazy. Trust me. All right, so now I'm probably going to do a braid on the other side. And here we go. Attaching it there. And right now it's a little bit too heavy to pick up, and I don't want to, let me try though, because I want you to see it. But oh, I know what I'll do. I'll do this part. So if you can see, that gives you an idea at least of what it is that I'm doing. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to stop this for now. And tomorrow we will talk about painting your mask. So if you're one of my students and you're having trouble with coming up with ideas for your mask or exactly what you want to do, please shoot me an email or a text. I am always here to help out. And I hope y'all are doing well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now. Okay. And